know where you are.
What's why?
You know where you are. Well, that was the kill count, kill and death count. You had the same amount as I did, but I wondered why you came second. You got 5 deaths.
Hey. I honestly hadn't realized. Kudos to me. To be fair though, to get 1 less assist and 2 more deaths, and only 2 points under it. Pretty well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, like I said, you, me, and Nav more often than not, and even Keys in that sense as well at times. We are more or less neck and neck. You know, on a typical average thing. Although I will say, hard point on certain maps, you do seem to do a lot better on. Especially when it comes to shipment. Yeah, to answer your Q as well. I'm alright apart from a stabbing pulled feeling on my left side. So like, you know where your armpit is and you have that kind of muscle between your kind of chest area and kind of tricep, bicep. I feel like I've kind of pulled that and then something jabbing into it. I've been aching and killing for the last, I don't know, last kind of 4 or 5 days now. So I'm not really having a fun time on my left side at the moment.
Doesn't sound like it.
Pretty cool. I might try that Kurohana Metro. Basically Japanese London.
Katana?
No, on the featured Kurohana Metropolis. Japanese London, basically.
Weapon?
No, on featured on the maps.
Ah.
Have a look.
Oh. Okay. Search and destroy and hard point.
Yeah. So I might try that after we've done these other 7 games. celebrate. Oh, mind out, someone's just called a dog. Oh, you motherfucker. I'll go for C.
Shield turret, not shield turret. Handheld one, I can't remember the name of it.
The beetroot at the other end is the sniper, so you gotta take them out with a sniper man. Oh, yeah.
I see. Tripper's not good. Sake.
This guy with that dog is really trying to get one.
Are they taking me out already? One's in. Okay, let's see.
Ooh.
Titties!
Well done you, well done you. And
Titties.
well done beetroot, well done you. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it.
Nav's account is on. But since I see him, I'm wondering if he's actually offline.
Yeah, if you can see him and he's not there, then he'll be off. It's any other because if you're on and he's on streamer mode, then his username now, _69, it won't come up.
Titties. He's not. He's gone into bar. That's why. His other accounts are for tidies. It's titties.
See, I don't have his other user, so.
I don't know how, because you have played with him.
Yeah, but if he's been on the streamer thing, then I wouldn't have known his other account is called Titties.
TIIDDYYYS. Yes. Not titties. Titties.
And also
Delta.
TT.
Delta.
So,
No, it is Tango, India, India, Delta, Delta, Delta. So it's not titties, it's titties.
yeah. Tango, Indigo, Indigo, Triple Delta.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
YSS. Funniest thing to me.
I wonder if I put Tit Magnet down as my username. I wonder if that would let me do it. Or whether I'd have to use like a T1T kind of thing.
I mean, it's worth a try. I know we censor things quite heavily, but I don't know how heavily.
Quite heavily because it comes up as Astrofix. That, or if I put Tit Magnet, yeah, it still comes up as Astrofix. And if I go on the thingy, it comes up as an input includes profanity, try again. And that's on our chat between us two. On the team chat, it comes up as Astrofix. I know it does. On the game as well, when you're actually in game.
Fair enough. Oh, wait. I didn't see anything, honestly.
Bravo, Foxtrot, Romeo, Delta, Hotel, Charlie, 4 Yankee Tango, Zulu, Romeo. That's his streamer name, isn't it? A streamer tag.
And you started off with Bravo. So now.
Well, the weird.
On titties, it begins with an 8, I believe. but on Nav it's DRZ, because I always think Dream. I don't know why. It looks nothing like Dream, but still is.
No, that is him. Just so guys player info. That is him. TDs. His thing is...
Horse?
Yep, horse. 191, not in a clan, and he's got the kind of winter soldier ghost thing on. Which I got no idea which one his character is based on. That's him.
Yep. Titties. Tidies. Sorry. Tidies, of course.
Yeah, but I think you and I both know what he meant by that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 100%. I mean, it's like 69. Come on.
Tidies, team. I don't think like 69. There's a lot of people that love the idea.
Really know.
There's a lot of people that love the idea of it, don't actually enjoy doing it because you get neck cramp. If you're the one on the bottom, and you're the guy, you get neck cramp. No matter how fucking well positioned you look, that's still hard to eat pussy out when you're not sat in the right place. Especially if you're bent over sucking cock and you're the female. You know, when you're the guy on top and you're going 69, it's easy to get a much more of an angle. But for some reason, or it might just be a me thing, but I've asked a few people and they've all said the same thing in somewhat shape or form. It is uncomfortable. Especially if she's a squirter. You know, it's really not a pleasant thing to have up your nose.
Awesome.
So
I
told.
honestly will not take any of that useless information with me throughout life. If you want me to be quite honest. I think my day was going better before I knew that information. Didn't need to know that information. Didn't want to know that information.
No. You never know.
I'm just gonna go emotionally heal by making myself a coffee.
Well, you never know. It might come in handy somewhere down the line. You least expect it. I was thinking, to be fair, you know your username is Nav69. Do you actually like 69, or is it just a number that fascinates you? Or is that...
With his personality, I'd say he enjoys 69.
But enjoys the actual act of it, or enjoys the thought of it?
It's not something I've ever asked. And it's not something I've ever wanted to know.
Just the thought of someone else being in that position.
Oh no, it's just a thoughtful stop. I'm not gonna be like, hey Nav, so tell me, your username 69. Do you enjoy it? No, I'm gonna start with that.
Oh. I will. It's not like we're exactly strangers, is it? Not 100% strangers, anyway. Like, what's your bet? That he loves the thought of it, or he loves doing it? What's your...
doing it, and I'd put money on it.
Alright, how much would you put on it? I'm not a betting
50.
guy with money, but...
50 straight.
Alright, you're on.
And I don't do bets, full stop. Now think about that, baby. Why would I put a bet down on something that I know that I'm not going to win?
Because when you're betting with your partner, too, you know, you get that in some way, shape, or form anyway, whether it's a meal or a drink or a fucking heavy bet.
I don't bet. unless I win. Full stop.
And how is this
I
going to look
really.
hypothetically?
I don't think you should do it.
Do you already know the answer? Or is this one that you really don't know?
I have a strong suspicion, but I have never officially got anything confirmed.
So, if this is right, you get it. If you're wrong, how will that look?
It will look like neck ache.
Well, when
No,
you
all
do
jokes
see,
aside, I'm not betting anything.
it's too late.
But I know I'm gonna win. No, it's not too late. I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. And I know I'd win. And if you want to still give me money at the end of it, then sure. But I do not want to waste money. I mean, I want 50 then. Oh no, actually, I take it back. I want to keep the bet on. Bring it down to 20 because I'm not wasting 50 quid in a fucking bet.
Yeah, but technically you can
Ooh.
actually utilize that because you can put to a gift, you can put to dinner, you can do this, that, and the other between us two. You're not really losing anything in that sense. But, well, I'm gonna hold you to 50. Because that can be food and covered.
You hold whatever you want, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing jack shit.
I've got a few things I can hold.
That's nice. It's a clear night tonight.
I'm waiting about 69.
You do that. Enjoy.
There's that happy-go-lucky chick.
Audio was muffled, honestly. Camera.
Nah. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You're making coffee and making rum and coke.
Not an addiction, but I know mine's a little bit healthier.
There's mine in moderate doses. It thins the blood, stops blood clots and this and that if you're doing it on a moderate level.
don't even know if that fucking... I didn't get there. Of course I don't. Yeah, okay. Hold on.
You know what this reminds me of? Oh, you fucking
Heaven.
Huh?
What does it remind you of?
take off.
God, don't insult it. Don't insult this place like that.
Take off and
Ugh. I don't really think this can compare.
no, take off and what's that other one? The factory one.
I don't know.
It's just a lot
Takeoff's
more
shit in
stunning.
comparison.
No,
This is ethereal. I love this.
no, but the place that it really does remind me of is there's a map on Black Ops 2.
Somebody fucking help. I'm sorry, but getting close. There's like casuals. Jack shit.
Oh, shot in the back of the head like with any form of monster. Oh, it's the same guy again.
There's not here people. Wonderful. Ooh.
Why is it with that fucking night guy I can never tag him? And it's not just this guy, it's every fucking person that plays that character.
Yep. For me, Mythic Templar. Where's that? That's evil. We have at least one bot.
You fucking nice there.
You fucking asshole.
Slam. And
that show single-handedly is the reason I'm such an asshole years later. That's the second time I've headshotted the Mythic Temple with their thingy-mobile.
I'll say that again.
Second time I've headshotted the Mythic Temple with the kinetic armor on. Funny.
Yay!
Oh.
That would be you as well. Why whenever Craig comes on with that fucking night thing, or that fucking annoys me. Because I can't fucking see the guy until he comes up that last second. That's only after I've been pelted with that the fucking Mega system.
I agree. They are hard.
Fucking blend
They are
in.
hard to go up against.
Well, they seem to blend into the fucking scenery around you, and I get that's why everyone wants to stay alive, and I get that. But when it physically doesn't even come up with the fucking red armbands, going, I'm over here, and then you see him at the last second, and that because he's blending in with the fucking dark and there's lights and that about around you as well. You can't fucking see him.
Oh, good evening, by the way.
Good evening.
What's that? Or night? Night? Morning? Whatever it is.
I'd say 2:32 is morning. But mind you,
Potato, tomato. Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
it does depend whereabouts in the world you are, so it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Someone. Yeah.
That's a really good album as well. Sneak peek.
It's no problem doing.
Nice time.
Hey shit, what is this gun? Oh wait.
It's Captain Todd.
Wait, why am I the last one? Fuck off! I can't use this gun for shit.
Well, you can, and that's really
Where are they?
accurate now. Last time I saw him, it was on the floor. Just
That's
mind
what she
out.
said. And where?
Just find out, because he'll be behind something.
No, it's not.
Never mind. Oh, it was behind the fence. Oh, you can't drive, it could be you. Just on the pool. Just on the pool.
Not sorry. What? Oh, shit. No. Bitch. Oh, you wanker. What the fuck? How? No pressure. That bot is taking someone on. Yep. Fuck did he go? Let's try that.
If we're gonna lose the bonfire there. Not gonna lose when there's the whole team essentially still there.
There was 2 players, and
I got that down to one of them.
ooh, yeah. Right. I took out 3 players. I do no more work now. Can I hide in a corner and rest? I'm carrying this whole team on my back. Oh shit.
I say you wee little head pop up over the thing, Missy. You can't fool someone that does the fooling.
Should have been me. Would have had a full squad wipe if you hadn't actually played with me. Why? Why is it Captain Price? What have I done wrong to you?
Maybe old man has a thing for young women.
Lovely. Got most.
Oh, you can argue that and say don't most women like a thing for older men.
I blame it on parental issues. Men tend to go for young women because, for the most part, they want a fully fledged mother figure, but with the body and the face of a young woman. Women tend to go for older men for the simple reason that security exists, stability, intelligence, strength of mind, emotional intelligence, etc., etc. There's a major difference. Men are in it for one reason, women are in it for another.
Yeah, but the difference is at least the man is honest about his intentions. Women, most of the time, don't seem to be.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Really? Alright. Oh, you fucking wanker. Then why is it that when they marries and have kids and then runs away with the money once they get divorced? Who needs who the most?
You've been watching too much Andrew Tate.
I don't watch the guy. That's the realization
You
of it.
posted a video about it.
But an Andrew Tate, well,
Yes, it was Andrew Tate.
it wasn't.
Yes.
That's the part where you argue against the facts, and yet we all know that men provide for the woman, and without the men, women are fucking hopeless. We know that, it's been proven. Someone's got a trophy over by that mark.
Fuck's sake.
Truth of the matter is, and that if women were so strong and independent, they wouldn't cry for
Maybe.
men's help. So, you know.
We're not getting into this conversation. Our opinions differ. That's the end of it.
Yeah, someone that don't want to admit to the truth is like that. That's how the world is at the moment.
Sure they are. Like, you're arguing with yourself. I'm not doing this.
You know what I mean? You actually called it out anyway when you said about maturity and ability, etc.
Proves that men are weaker. Get show emotions. Okay. Kudos to them for being able to be hard in random moments.
Oh, it doesn't.
I don't comprehend.
It physically, it literally says you're going to come off worse than them.
No, it says they're able to be more emotional, and they tend to have more distress. But our hormones are completely different. We're built to be more emotional. I'm not going to dig, I just don't understand what you're actually trying to say.
I haven't finished sending shit over yet. Oh, fucking hillbilly. Will you stop taking my fucking hands, you dickhead? Get in fucking tags.
Kill, you get the tag,
Enemy contact.
You know, we had a conversation about don't take other people's tags.
I haven't taken out your tab, I left the one on the phone.
What's wrong?
Oh, so I got
That's
your
my old
fucking
death machine.
tab then, did I?
Go down.
Can you explain? I'm not being a dick. I genuinely don't understand what you mean. I want to understand your perspective.
Send you a couple of videos, maybe that'll help explain it.
No, I did. I looked through some of them, but I was not all of them. I saw the Andrew Tate came off.
So I don't listen to him. I never have. So you saying I listen to Andrew Tate? I fucking don't. Never have. I've seen maybe him pop up. Yeah, kind of on the news feed, or he's come up on a YouTube thing when he's been a part of it, or someone's included in it. But I've never willingly gone out looking at him.
I have. I'm not trying to be a dick. I genuinely understand, but medikit if there's no. Medication.
Put it this way. You get married, you then get divorced. Who comes out with more of the beneficials? Women. Why is that? No equal pay. This and that and the other. Women can easily live, and that she uses her looks, she uses this and that. Let's be honest, most people do. And then when they get older, they realise that all that shit backfires. And that's normally when you hit 30s and 40s, and when your looks go out the window, no one wants to know because you have a reputation by that point. Now, men come off worse in a mental capacity, but physically they're more than capable. It's the mental capacity side that they lack on. While women have it, it's the mental side. But the physical capabilities they struggle with, and with all this kind of issues with what's going on and has been, women are now starting to see that strong and independent gets you so far until you really need a man's help. So who really comes off worse in that scenario? Because if it weren't for the men, women would struggle a hell of a lot more. There's a video that really
with what?
into it.
Sorry, with what? I'm not been I'm not been a dick here. What you said? You said women need men. They realize they need men. For what? You mean just in general, like physicality wise, like lifting stuff, or do you mean?
No, just in general. And overall.
For what though?
Well, like I said, I'll send a couple of videos and some reports over and that to explain that. Put it this way: do you know how to deal with a car?
Yep, quite well. Bunch of petrol heads in my family.
Right, now, how many women out of 10 would know how to deal with a car?
In Ireland?
No.
Since most women here
No, generally.
are like that?
Generally.
Well, generally, would I be counting like countries like Africa, or are you on about just like America?
It's generally.
Because that's a whole other thing.
Everywhere, generally. If I meant a specific spot, I would have said a specific spot. Generally, in the whole planet Earth, out of 10, how many people would know how to do it?
Do what? Do you mean like the basics of change a tire, or oil change, or do you mean like hands-on fixing something?
An overall thing in general, changing tires, fixing cars, dealing with all that shit. Everything.
God. Statistically, I'd say only about 1, 2 at a push.
And who do they normally refer to? Experts or their
mechanics?
Yeah. Or their partner, which tends to be a guy more often than not. And when you go into a mechanic's garage, more often than not, on a general thing, what is it normally?
It's men. That's a societal thing, though, to be fair.
Well, there you go. So you can already see where I'm kind of going with this. Marriage, who protects the family more often than not?
The one who wears the pants.
And who's that normally?
Which I guess in again a societal thing, it is a men thing. But I don't see how it's like a needing men thing, if that makes sense.
Well, you keep up with the reports and this and that and the other and that, and women are starting to wonder why no one gets approached, why there's so much issues and challenges going about, etc., and this, that, and the other. But when you really start to look into it and witness it, obviously you're stuck in Ireland in that sense. Obviously, I've travelled about and visited all over the place, so I've got a bit more of a wider range of aspect in that sense of witnessing. More often than not, when you combine everything together, it comes down to the fact of it is typically men-dominated area. Now, not to say women can't be strong and this and that. Some people do really fine with it. But statistically, it does come back to women need men just as much as men need women. But between the two, typically and statistically, and evidently physically, women need men. It is how it is. That's how we are.
I found another study. This is weird. No thing. It was that if you don't have family, and so you don't have kids, you don't do marriage, you don't do all that, statistically, when you're older, women seem to be generally happier.
Yeah.
I think because their emotional capacity is thing. Is that why men are so like more family oriented? I'm not saying most men are family oriented. I'm saying, is that why most men thrive for like the simplicities of life? Like obviously they go for the fancy cars, all that shit. But I mean, is that why men are happier to not necessarily settle and be trapped? But I mean, is that why they don't necessarily need the big, luscious stuff? That makes sense.
No, I get where you're coming from, and it's a very fair question. And me being me, I get misinterpreted that the reason is there, but I just don't say it in a way that is textbook cover and professional, like, a little bit.
Because I am misinterpreting everything you're saying.
Yeah. So hang on a sec. So women, hang on. Let me make a note. Let's now go through them. So women being older. What was it? Women being older and being women older happy. What was the other one? Guys being older.
Throughout life, women just tend to be more emotionally stable. Yes, they can become more emotionally distressed, but that is entirely biology. But in life, especially without the burdens of family, they tend to be happier.
So guys being family older / expensive. I'll just put under expensive. So expensive things. So it's women, it's guys being older and this and that and the other. And then what's the final one?
The fact that you said women tend to need men, I'd argue. I'd actually say men tend to need women.
It is a struggle on that one. Physically, more often than not, statistically,
you'd go for a guy.
Of a one.
Biologically, they're supposed to be stronger.
Well, you can see where, but the thing is, men as well as. Alright, so hang on. Men struggle and women struggle. Alright, so women being older, here's the thing, and this is something that everyone that goes against it normally doesn't want to hit reality, and more often than not, it's because they haven't gone through that point. And you saw the video of when women are 80, their life starts. When they get to their 30s, that's when they start. And on that sense, it's because, as I said, and I don't give a fuck if someone calls it sexist, let's be honest, most women use their looks and fall for the trap. They go in and it's stick bait. It really is.
Yeah. Plus men are like developed mentally, they say.
Yeah. Men aren't developed in the way that they go use your fucking head. And let's be honest, most guys think of their cock straight up because we haven't matured yet.
But they're little head.
Yeah. Well, some people are little, some people are big. You can't change that. It's how it is. But not genetically, evolutionarily wise, women mature older, and it's a known fact, and everything I'll say is a known fact, whether people like it or not. You have to go through it to see it. Women mature quicker than men, and it's a known fact. And the thing is this is the thing that is evil about the world. Women use their looks when they know they've got looks and they progress. And I know you can say that, you can somewhat agree to it, because I know you've seen it via your friends or family or colleagues or whatever. Women use their looks because, let's be honest, the world is a male-dominated population, and it is.
Men are easy to men, for the most part, are easy to manipulate because they only think with their bodily necessities rather than their actual intelligence. So yeah, I think that's fair to say. It's easy enough.
And this is where women have the advantage. The backside to women in that respect is once they've gone through their manipulative stage, using their looks, or they're pushing their degree, they're pushing their career, whatever it is, via looks, you gain a reputation. And in somewhat of a way, that's why men become players, because women don't want to settle down, when they're undeveloped and they're going through that stage. And this is why men become players and they hold out, or they don't want to have any interest. And this is the scenario that we're in at the moment. Guys don't approach men because it's either seen as creepy or you give into it, which is why when you get older, younger women in that respect tend to go for an older guy because they know what they want and and that's the case. The problem is when women go through that stage, you get seen as slut, hoe, whore, not in a kinky way. I mean, this is a derogative label for women, which I know you'll absolutely see in a lot of today's world. And that's because they shut themselves off from relationships and connections, but they use their looks, and this is where men fail. They use their cock and not their head.
I think because it's more emotionally distressing. For the most part, I think women are blinded by the whole wanting to be independent. Because I know for me individually, of course, I want a relationship, but that's because I'm as you know, you know this, I'm just like a lovesick person. But at the same time, I generally tend to thrive in most other aspects of my life when I am alone. I think because I'm like focusing on other things. I think that's the same for everyone though. I think it would be.
That's how the way you want it to be, but people don't. And this is the thing. You, like males, you are essentially a tomboy in that respect. Not maybe necessarily physically, but ideology.
No, every way. It's okay.
You come across, in terms of a male, you don't want to deal with all the bullshit and you want to settle down. And from what you've just said, can you understand why guys are like that today? Now, the problem is women that do go through their slut phase and they use their looks to further their careers. Unfortunately, most, not all, most get the backlash of that when they get to 30s and 40s. They have a name, no one wants to settle down with them. And that's the period that we're in and have been in for a while, since all this woke shit came up and all the creep shit and all accusations and this and that came about. And it's why a lot of them, in that sense, wonder why there's no men about. Weren't there any good guys? Weren't there any decent men? Well, hang on a minute. You've opened yourself to no relationships. You've done the sleep. Yeah, you're going to be seen as that. No one's going to touch you because you have a reputation in that sense. You've used your looks. You've used your head to manipulate a situation in that way. Now, where it comes to when they get older, people know that. They don't want to know them. As opposed to what you were, or in conjunction to what you were saying, the people that do focus on actually doing things genuinely and actually progress through the stages, when they get older, they still have that maturity, but they have the intelligence not to go down that route, and they do seem older, and they're much more stable financially, mentally, this and that and the other, because they've done things for themselves to progress themselves in a genuine way. This is where it backfires with most women when they go down the manipulative route using their looks. Now, when it comes to guys,
Well, they have to.
yeah, and
They have to.
now you can see what I was trying to say. But obviously, I can't do that when I'm trying to shoot some guy's head, blow his fucking head apart. But you can see where that now starts to make sense. Now, given the time to actually sit down and probably talk about, thingies. Now, where guys come into the picture, where we go about it the wrong way, most people do, being a guy, and I'm very fair on both, and I will take apart both sides. I don't give a fuck, because it is true. Guys, no, you
Hard to say
can,
it's not full, it's just retarded, but yeah.
but where guys who are genuine go through the stages, they can have a party stage and this and that, but they're not about the whole look. No, so fuck off. Where men, you can have your party stage and this and that, but they're still working on themselves and working to do the things that they want. And you've heard it all before. By the time you get to 30 to 40, they're genuinely in, and typically, for genuine people, most people, not all, but most, they tend to be in a spot that's comfortable. And they're more balanced out. They know what they want. They're working towards, and then they get the pick. So where women had the pick at 18, guys then reach that stage when they're genuine. When they get to 30 and 40s, and they're a bit more stable, and that's when they get the pick, and they want to look after. They want to provide. They want to have a family. They want to settle down. And this is where it goes, as opposed to guys.
I definitely disagree.
Alright.
It's an opinion thing.
No, this is a factual thing, and this is why women don't like it, because people that recognise that are more happier when they get older. And this is
Wait. Just can I ask this question? Is this like a conversation, or is this just you trying to change my mind?
No, this is a conversation on facts, and this is what I was saying about with women. Women want someone that can provide and this and that and the other. When you go through it the right way, you want that stability, you want that thing, you want this and that and the other. And when guys are doing it right, that's what women want. And when they can't have that, that's when they come off worse, because they have to fend for themselves. They have to do this, they have to do that. When women are
I think there's a reason that more women tend to go for more women now.
No, that's because they've shut themselves off, but then that becomes a sexuality thing. So, that's a whole different territory. The reason why women are strong and independent when they get older is because they've actually worked on it and they haven't tried to manipulate shit. And they've done it through hard work and being genuine and having a bit of a fun time, etc. I do not doubt that, and some people don't even do that. They hold themselves out and they progress that way, where men fuck up at the start and then have that issue of trying to settle down later, and it goes both ways. The reason why men, as you asked, are a lot more happier when they get older is because they've worked throughout the time that they were always ignored or turned down and this and that and the other. And you see it all the time. You read it all the time. Whether you agree or not, it doesn't mean to say that it's true. And so this is why men, as we put with being older and this and that and the other, when they get older, they know what they want. And women love the idea of someone that will put them in their place and have strong values. And that's what women want. Someone that isn't afraid to go through the motions, isn't afraid to stand up and have good qualities that they can see themselves growing up with, one that they can grow a family with. This is what women are looking for when they're younger, that younger guys don't have. And it's a known fact, guys don't progress in the way that women do. And that's why women always feel more satisfied and more comfortable with a guy that is older. And that's how it is. That's the fact. whether you agree with it or not. That is the fact.
No.
The
Oh
thing,
my gosh, can I say something?
the thing that guys have when
Please.
it comes to expensive purchasing, that's just an ego thing. That's all it is. Now, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have a treat, it's nice to have a gift and this and that and the other. And you see it all the time. People who are billionaires and this and that and the other, they don't rub it in your face. You already know they're billionaires. And most of them, not all, most, although wear a nice fancy suit, most of them will be seen in typical street clothes. Typical jeans from Primark, typical shirts from Hotman or fucking Howland or wherever. I don't fucking know. Because they know that they've got everything. They don't rub it in. The people that really do go out to rub it in, it's the statement of, I've got this and that, and I can flaunt it, and this and that and the other. And normally they've got something there just to fill a void. And that's what you see with people with mental health with, and I'm not going into that. And then other people spend little bits here and there, but they're not rubbing it in. And it is a bit of a funny one, that is. But normally when people flaunt shit, they haven't got money, and that's because they're too busy spending it. And then there's other people there that are flaunting it just because, you're fucking Batman and Tony Stark and fucking Elon Musk and this and that and the other and Bill Gates. You can flaunt it and not give a shit because you know that you're still financially stable. And that's an ego thing. Just because you have it, you can do it. And it shouldn't be like that, and people do. And that's when you know the balance. Now, men struggling and women struggling and this and that, with everything that's just been said of the facts and the statistics and this and that, yeah, men struggle more mentally because they're too busy trying to find something that is genuine, and it takes a while. Men, physically, they don't struggle because they're more than capable. That's how men are built. You can't change it, as we've established before. The fucking scientific stats are there. Men are more durable and built for a certain way. Women are built for a purpose and for a certain way, and they're not meant to take that.
So as
Then-
men.
Will you let me explain before you judge?
You're not explaining. You're ranting. I'm trying to get a question in.
I'm not ranting. I'm telling you the facts that men are built to take on the strain. You think I'm ranting? I'm just saying the facts of how it is. Women aren't meant to take the huge amount of weight and strain that men do in a physical capacity. Now, where they do is when it comes to pregnancy and the mental strain and this and that. And that's where men and women need each other. But physically, men take the strain. Mentally, women take the mental capacity because they are naturally stronger like that. They're more mature and more supportive in that sense. Now, should it be like that? No. But that's how we are built. That's how we're wired. And that's why women are always happier at the start and then struggle later on when they've got a reputation. And the ones that don't are like what you said at the start, where they are older and more happier because they've gone through the stages of working on themselves and working towards their goal. That's what I'm trying to say. And where women do that at an early age, guys struggle, and that's why guys settle down a lot more, because they know what they want when they're older. The only thing is, guys can become a lot more feminine when they get older, and women become a lot more butch when they get older when it comes to families. And that is the bitter truth of it, regardless of what this new fucking society is like nowadays. You know? It's the same thing with families, etc. Men provide and women struggle if they were to ever divorce. And that's why they take half the settlement, apart from obviously putting in the hours and the money and the care and this and that and the other. Because guys are more than capable to get themselves back up. We put the hard work in, we put the physicality into things because we're more durable. And that's why, in that sense, men don't live as long as women do, because men just don't give a fuck and get involved. And it's normally life-threatening in that sense. And that's why us men are at fault to ourselves. And we need women to kind of balance that out in that sense. So yeah, men are fucked without women. Because we need that stability, we need that care, we need that emotional support, we need someone that we can connect with and have essentially a future with. Otherwise it is a very lonely place, and that's why women are more than capable to be better off without men, because they don't need that emotional support normally on a statistical level. They don't need that support, but when they do, that's when you see all the shit that's happening in today's world. Why don't men approach? Why can't I find a good man? Why can't I find this and that and other? The evidence is there. Obviously, some places more than not. And yes, you can.
Thank you. So essentially, this started off with you saying that women need men. But by the way you just finished that, I think it's fair to say that men need women more than women need men, especially near the end of life.
Depends on the scenario you're talking about, but mentally, yeah.
In life.
Mentally and in the long run, yeah, men need women. But you can argue that and say women need men for reproducing.
Or you can argue anything.
Reproducing,
no, actually, no. But, and also random little fact, but men, the actual chromosomes, that's it. XY, the XY chromosomes dying off. Slowly, very slowly. Hence why that's a whole other thing. But so basically, I think it's fair to say our opinions differ for the simple reason that I haven't been limited to Ireland. I have travelled, and I have the experience from people, but seen a hell of a lot more strong women than I have men.
But why?
I'm not saying men can't. Hold up, please. It's just a personal thing. But why what? Sorry.
You just told me not to. Essentially, you just told me not to talk a second ago.
Because you were on about me interrupting you. I just thought, respect-wise, it's a two-way thing.
I thought you'd done. That's why I was asking. See, the thing is you've gone off people's words, a biased opinion, as opposed to the friend.
No. Just put it's so lonely, man. Full stop. You say that they get on with it, but they don't for the most part. You get on with it because you're an independent person. Most men don't. They fail in every aspect of life for the most part.
But why?
The reason women get judged and they use their looks because women can use their looks. It's simple, so they use them. And then the worst thing is when they get to the ages of 30 and 40, the ones that come at them for being a slut or for whoring themselves around, for the most part, are women. Men are sluts on the daily and we just cover it up because, hey presto, men are men. They think that they're cops. It's allowed. It's the societal thing.
Yeah, but
if women would ever throw their bodies around, they couldn't.
But why is that? Why are men worse in today's world
Men exist.
via work scenario?
They did that to themselves.
No, they didn't. Oh,
Men have been in power for the most part.
and now
for the majority of time.
And now women are complaining. So let me flip this round on its head quickly.
And look where we have had multiple world wars, multiple wars, issues, etc.
Yeah, because people try and win a war before it's even started, and there's more issues now because the people that are crying about it are normally doing more harm than good, and that's the problem. And then you mentioned about work related, and then obviously women being called sluts and whores and guys being players, and there are guys out there that are just complete cunts, and that's coming from a guy. And as you've seen, women will happily admit women more often than not on a ratio between guys and girls, women are normally worse when it comes to chit chat and bittering and this and that and the other. And most women won't admit it, and then there are people that will, and there are guys.
Most can.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. Most, not all, most. And this is where the guys actually respect and won't be fucked about.
Most women can admit that they're toxic.
Well, there you go. Well, you've kind of, well, there you go. You just answered and literally kind of given everything to what I've been saying. But why do women become sluts and hoes and whores and, degenerate objects and this and that and the other? And why do guys become players? And I'll tell you why. Because most women know how guys think. But if they know how guys think, why the fuck do they open themselves up to sex and then run away and then wonder why they get slut shamed? If they didn't open up to men in that kind of way, you'd have something more real. And people, you see it.
If they didn't open up to men in that way, men would take it because physically.
No, they wouldn't.
Most of them can.
No, because what you're saying there is most people out of 1 to 10, guys are rapists, and they're not, or guys are abusers, and they're not. And I'm not saying all, I'm saying some or half. But then you look at that and you say, well, women can do no wrong. Yes, they fucking can, but because they use their looks and they use their... I'm not saying you did. People say that. And because women know how men...
Nobody says that.
Yes, they no, alright. No one says it. But people fucking know it and they still give in because women use their looks and they use sex as a weapon to get what they want. And
nobody think women. Oh my god.
You've literally just admitted it.
Yeah, I said women can use their looks to get what they want because men are gullible and allow for that to happen.
And there you go.
But then when a man doesn't, you have that whole issue of, oh, I'm a sigma male, or oh, I'm an alpha male, because you're able to say no.
No, you don't. Most people don't.
In today's society, sorry.
Most people don't even know about that. You're trying to be a big man, an alpha man, you're trying to be an alpha woman, strong, independent, and that's all they say. But when it comes down to it, women use looks and sex. And they cry about it when they get that name tag on. And more often than not, it is a dominated world, more with men. Between the two, there is like a 50.4 thing between 49.6. There is more men in the world.
That's because of China.
It's not because, see, now you just
it's a joke. It's a joke.
But not one you should be joking about. You know, this is why men are failing, because women know how most men think, and they use certain things as power and control and this and that and the other. And then when they get older, people realise and they leave them alone. So that answers that one. Where men are failing in the world is because we can't fucking do anything without there being some kind of racism, sexism, discrimination, this and that and the other. And us men are becoming essentially obsolete because women, among with most topics and tropes in today's world, has all gone to shit. And it's become unbalanced. And that's when you then realise that women do need men, especially when it comes to the physical capabilities of shit. Women can't lift this thing. Women don't know how to hold wire a car. Women don't know this and that. And I'm not saying all, but most. And that's why they're struggling, because they need a guy. Where the guys are failing is the fact that we won't have strong independent views and go off facts and still stay true to ourselves. And most, as you see, simp and fucking give in to women because she's got the looks and this and that and the other. And that's why when you find older men, which is one of the reasons why women love guys that don't look towards them. And
I mean, I'm with you.
Yeah, because I don't go for other people. I'm a hard target to get, and you yourself have said that. I'm a very difficult guy to get to know. And when you actually sit down, I thought, can I charm? Yeah, could I easily get someone's number and fuck 10 bitches in about 2 days? Easily. Do I do it? No. And that's the catch. And that's when someone sees past that. If I was a female, why did he just turn me down? I can get any guy in this room, I can play him off, I can get him to give me their number, and then I never speak to him again because he's easy. What made this one guy different, or what made these two guys different? And that's the catch. And that's why society...
Because for the first time ever, they've not fought with their dick?
Exactly. And now you've answered why men seem happier when they get older, why they seem more stable, why they seem more financially thingy, because they've used their...
Because they strive for happy lives, they strive for children, they strive for families.
No, well,
women are finally having that freedom of understanding themselves. Because women are forced to grow up differently, and more often than not, I'm not saying all the time, we tend to be forced to grow up a little faster.
And now you see why.
I think that's just a societal thing.
And now you see where I was coming from with most of the points, whether you will openly admit and agree or understand that with some biased or different opinions, which is fine. I do not put that past anyone. That you can understand where you just answered your question with women being older and gone through the stages like you, don't want to go out and manipulate, don't want to go out and use looks and this and that, which I already know your standing point on that. And why guys always seem to be a lot happier and a little bit more reserved, and they want to find someone and grow a family when they're 30s and 40s, and they seem a little bit more mature, a little bit more stable, whether that be mentally, physically, financially, fucking psychologically, whatever it is. And you can now see why the attraction is there for younger women above 18, obviously. But you can see why younger women love an older guy. The downside is for the guy not to be blind enough not to see the mind games that they play, which, let's be honest, a lot of people do.
Most guys do. Especially older men.
And that can be the same for guys towards the women as well. And this is why you can see why a lot of younger guys, I'm very fair on both, why a lot of younger guys, older women, because they're more mature, they know what they want, they're more experienced. I'm not just saying sexually or just work-wise or generally, it is in an overall thing. You can see that attraction why guys love older girls or older women in that respect. Ladies, real matures, maybe milfs cougars to their doing. But again, both have metaphors.
Okay.
But at the same time, you've kind of answered your question now. Why do guys seem happier older? Why do females seem older, happier when they're alone and more together and this and that and the other. And then where's the fault with women when they're younger and when men are younger? And then what's the consequences when you get older on both sides, and what's the rewards in that respect on both sides? So it starts to make sense when you really break it down, and then you bring the evidence.
So wait, your opinion's more factual, mine's just biased?
Some of it. There is a couple of points you did make, which is I agree with. Statistically, I agree with. I don't use my feelings. I use the facts that are there. And when you read them...
That's the problem.
Well, to some people. But, you know, again...
Facts aren't always a good thing.
Facts
aren't always a good thing.
It depends whether you're one of these people that don't want to admit reality, or whether you're someone that will be open enough to admit what's going on. That's the difference.
Okay, well, no. I pride myself on wanting to take facts, wanting to take other opinions, but for the most part, especially when I have said facts, I still go with heart rather than mind. Well, not necessarily mind, because, no. I'd rather go with more of an emotional opinion rather than a...
And that's where it becomes biased, because you think with your heart and not your head. That's one of the things that I did say. Is you got
another strength that women have, men do not. For the simple reason that in today's society, and in every society, men are aren't allowed to be emotional, hence why they tend to be happier in mid to late times of life, because they've finally been allowed to become more, as you say, feminine, but I say more emotional, more in tune with their actual selves. Women finally become more rogue because they've already done the emotional bullshit. They want that questioning of freedom. Hence why more... Well, yeah, that's it.
But see, that's when you bring your biased opinion, which is biased, into the reality check of what happens. But only you want to say that, and then it must be true. But that's essentially what I have been saying. And the thing is, when you then compare today's... But the facts and the meaning is there no matter how much...
No. But you told me to watch my wording. I'm watching my wording.
But you've just...
So, on your part as well, could you do the same?
With what?
With everything you just said, because I got the most sexist, one-sided male opinion I've ever heard in the actual recording at the beginning. But now you've actually explained it and explained what you truly meant. It makes a hell of a lot more sense. I still don't agree with everything, and vice versa, but
I've already covered, but one, we're trying to play a game. Two, I can't exactly...
No, that's what I'm saying.
When there's so much things going off and you and I both don't know what's going on, this is what I mean. This is when I get misunderstood and misinterpreted, because there's something going off, or there's people interrupting, or there's so much shit going on where you can't focus, and then when you sit down, you're there. And this is what I've been trying to say. When you look at the old days, which, let's be honest, is technically still today, just more evolved in a way, the men would go out and provide. They do the heavy lifting, because that was what was expected of them. And to still to this day...
Because men put themselves in that situation.
No, it was
kind of sad, to be honest.
Well, someone has to, because let's be honest, majority of the time, women don't fucking get off their ass and do the shit themselves. They always look at their men. And I'll give you an example. Female has an issue with a male. He always gets her guy to deal with it. It's that kind of thing. In today's world, men can't do that because women want to see as strong, independent, self-reliant, and And when they
No,
actually,
that's bullshit. That's bullshit. This is where we don't agree. And
no,
I
it's
just
not.
realized you're going into it with the whole rubbish of women are trying to be equal, and that's what the fault is. No, women are not trying to be equal. We've
So
surpassed that. We're
fucking.
trying to be superior. We're not going for equality. We're going for superiority. That's the difference. That's why I didn't get you.
Alright. So still strong and independent. So you've just literally confirmed what I've been saying. If not, that's worse actually from a woman's point of view, because they want to be superior and they realize that when reality kicks in,
Of course I do.
and when reality kicks in, it doesn't fucking work. And there's so much news out there now where guys can't do anything. I'll give you an example. I said this to Keith the other day, and he fucking agreed with it. And you know he'll stand really in the middle.
Another man. Trying to keep in the middle, and he's doing well for it.
And I try and be in the middle, but for some reason I'm the fucking bad guy because it's me. If women gets attacked
It's
on
the
the
way. No,
street,
it's not because of you. It's because the way you say stuff, baby.
because people don't fucking
You
shut
automatically
up
have that
and
preaching
listen.
thing.
Women's
Not
attacked.
arguing. I'm not arguing.
And there you go.
I know.
You don't fucking listen. This is why I
I'm
can't.
trying to say I'm not
This
arguing with
is
you.
why I can't explain shit because I get cut off all the time. Women want to be superior than men. It will never fucking happen. Woman is attacked on the subway by a guy and she blames two guys that was overlooking because they done fuck all and didn't go in to help. You wanted equality? Fuck that. Women want to be superior. They want shit that they feel privileged to have, yet you've already got enough shit and you're protected and this and that and the other. They want equality or superior to some women, if not most now. You fucking deal with it. No, but that's no. It
If
is.
someone's been attacked on a subway, fuck the gender. I'm gonna look at the two people closest to me, be them men or women who did fuck all.
Yeah.
That's
well,
just a biased opinion on your part.
No, it's not.
Oh, a man is attacking a woman, and it's because we're going for equality.
No, it's
She
not.
looks at the two men and she blames them. Logically, no. She's gonna look at the two people closest to her.
Yeah,
The one that doesn't have the child.
but
The one that isn't old.
Yeah, but why?
Fuck gender.
Why would? Yeah, but what you're saying is I'm now making it to seem like a one-sided thing. That was the report. It's not. It was in the report. Fucking look it up. Why should men help when women want to be superior than men, which you've just literally said literally a couple of minutes ago? Why the fuck should men help when women are strong, independent, want to do things, not be reliant on a man? This is when it then backfires on women. Why the fuck should we help? Because every time we do, we get seen as this and that and the other, and 9 times out of 10 nowadays, men end up in cuffs. So why the fuck should we help women?
Courtesy.
The fuck,
Courtesy.
like, we never get that back. We hold the door
You see,
for
that's your
women.
fault.
No, it's not. That's women's fault. We hold the door for women.
No.
And we get seen as...
And for the most part, because my uncle had the same issue before, got shit on because he opened the door for a woman. Yeah, that's an individual woman thing.
No, but that's happening.
For the most part, it depends, because I wouldn't want a man to open the door for me, but for the simple reason I know what a man's like. They're gonna look down. Go fuck that shit.
No, we do it because a lot of men still have chivalry and we have respect to hold the door for anyone. But you've now said that, which is basically the same thing what I'm saying.
You can hold the door where you can.
Why the fuck should we help women when they're more than capable and they just shit all over, let's be honest, most men? Why should we help?
Don't then.
We
don't help. Because at the end of the day, women are going to be happier at the end of their lives than men are.
Well, there you go. So
don't help. Be miserable.
No, we do. But then this contradicts what you said about helping someone when they're being attacked, a female being attacked and they look over. So you've just literally called your own bullshit there. Why should the guy help when we know how it's going to go? Listen,
Courtesy. Fuck gender.
yeah, because
I did not go against myself in any way, shape, or form.
you pretty much did, sweetheart.
Didn't, baby. I really didn't.
Well, most people, men and women, would highly argue with that. If women don't need men, and then something like this happens, they look straight to, let's be honest, more often than not, men to jump in and help.
But it's a man doing the attacking.
And women want to be strong and independent.
Women don't need men, you're right. So in that case, eradicate all men, so we won't have the issue of men.
And then women won't be able to...
I'm looking at it from the most biased opinion. Yes, we can still reproduce.
You can't. Without a guy, you can't reproduce.
Very much scientifically possible.
Really?
And then you have the whole, what's that thing in between genders? I can't remember the name of it. But no, you can actually reproduce bone marrow or something, some study like that.
Yeah, but you're then looking at engineering and this and that and the other, and it's not been proved to be efficient and properly done yet. So again,
I'm just saying it's very much possible.
It is very much possible in the future, however many years down the line, but at the moment, this is reality. And you can't self-reproduce. You physically can't. You need a man's spunk in order to do it. So without men, you women are fucked. Without you women, us men are fucked. But you can't have a balance and say one wants equality and this and that, or self-respect and equal respect and that, when you know full well it doesn't fucking work like that. And this is what I'm saying, of facts, and this is what a lot of people are saying. And this is the world that we live in today's world. Males, females, transgenders, fucking this and that and the other. What more fucking privileges does people want when you're already protected? What more do you want that people aren't already given? And the ones who's fucking harping on about it and being fucking argumentative about it are the ones who's actually a part of that fucking group or that whole situation. You can't have both.
Okay. No, this is where you're wrong. As someone who's very much part of that group or that protected group, someone of color, as a woman, as a queer woman of color, that's the dumbest opinion I've ever heard, and it's very much the opinion of someone who's been wronged because of said things been brought in, because it's gotten to the point where it is it's going backwards in the sense, because it's a lot, in a lot of aspects it's got equal, but in a lot more aspects it's gotten to the point where it's gotten superior. And now men, in a sense, are fighting back. For the most part, I'm going to be honest, it's men. And if it's not men, it's religion. But for the most part, they're fighting back to the point where it's going backwards. And we're getting the inequality again. Because people, as a societal thing, are unable to find a balance.
It's got nothing to do...
And I strive for balance.
Religion has got everything to do with the fact that people want something that they've already got. And because in today's world, with everything that has been going on, it's become to the point where people are sick and tired of it, because people keep pushing it into media, people keep pushing it onto people, and this and that and the other, a bit like holding the door. Most people aren't, and we are going backwards, because what makes us human and what makes us respectful to others, people keep breaking down. So to argue that very first point you made, okay, religion, even the fucking, LGBTQ, they've even separated from trans and queer because they've had a fucking enough of them keep pushing shit onto people that's not fucking needed. So you then take colour and everything else into the picture. Well, hang on a minute. If you leave them alone, that's discriminating because you're not paying any attention to them. But then you bring them in, and you already create yourself an issue because most people think they want to use and abuse and manipulate and this and that. So you can't really win on that behalf. And this is something that I called your bullshit out on that post you made on Snapchat, etc., as an example. And I'm not really going to go into it, but it's that same thing. If you do this, you go completely against everything that society has worked towards to make so equal. You then have it where you go completely against that and you pay no attention to it. You are, in a way, essentially doing the same thing mentally. And the people that make the biggest issue of it are normally the ones that have created it, kind of seek out this and that and the other and push it onto other people. That's the problem. That's why we're going backwards. That's why we have this unbalance in the world. That's why we have... It's facts. It's why we're going backwards.
I mean, so your opinion, you mean, is entirely based off facts?
Isn't it always?
So it's not really an opinion.
I've always said it's facts. I've always gone off statistics and evidence. You look at the world, this is the difference between...
But you're a rogue.
Yeah, I am a rogue.
This is what's getting to me.
And I'll say
Wouldn't you be going based off your entire emotions then?
No.
Not the opinion,
No, because someone that doesn't stand on any particular field and can easily jump in and out of different things to witness it, that's the whole point of learning. You don't stay in one place, you don't get comfortable, you go into areas that are completely foreign, you know, and not in a bad way, but in a way that's not your comfortable space. It's not the point where you've got so settled that you're so idle on one particular thing. You have to jump about, you have to go into new areas to be open to learn, to adapt, to evolve. That's the only way you can evolve. And well, I think a lot of people go off trends and this and a lot of people, you know, we have woke, we have this and that shit, and it's gone backwards. You got a fucking cock between your legs. You're a guy, you're genetically a guy, you can't change that. You're a girl, you're this, you're that. They, him. Well, hang on a minute. They means them. It's one person which defeats the whole object of the meaning they. You know, there's all these pronouns. People that go through changes and decide one thing or the other, a bit like their sexuality. You can't fucking change that. You're either gay, straight, or bi. You can't change it.
No, you're not. We had a conversation about this.
No,
you're simple. You are full stop bisexual. You fall on either end of that spectrum. That's a fact. You're not. Yes, really.
No, we're all on a spectrum, and I agree with you there, of any sort. But what you...
So you're not either gay, straight, or bi.
No one's either gay, straight, or bi. Now, you can be attracted to... No, you're twisting my words then.
I didn't. No, okay. No, you know what? No, I'm not on that topic. We're going to pause it. And in future, if you have time,
won't let me
go back and look at your recording.
No, you won't let me explain. We've gone backwards in society, and everything that has been going on contradicts itself. You can't say this or that and the other. You don't get to choose whether you're bi, straight, or gay. You are naturally more one way than the other, and you don't change that. Now, what you're saying about is people are on a spectrum of everything. And as a guy, you can look at someone and go, yeah, he's attractive. But it doesn't mean I want to fuck him. No, of course it fucking doesn't. And I've always said that. I can look at a female. Is she attractive? Yeah, physically. But it's not about physical looks. It's about the emotional and the psychological and the mentality and the fucking personality of it. That's what it's always come down to. And I've always said that. But is she attractive? Yeah, as a guy. Did I see myself going down that route? If she has the personality, of course I fucking would. If I was gay, and or just being whatever the fuck I am, I'm kind of open to whatever. Is he attractive? Yeah. Did I see myself fucking him if I was a female and he had a good personality? Fuck yeah. I don't. Just because I'm straight or this and that and the other doesn't mean say that I can't openly admit that someone is physically attractive. Doesn't mean say I want to fuck them all of a sudden. You know? And it's the same if I was a girl and I like chicks. It's the same thing. If I'm a chick and I like the look of a guy, doesn't mean say that I want to go over and fuck him. Because if I'm naturally gay, queer, lesbian, whatever way you want to put it, you are that. But you can't not admit that you can be attracted to someone physically and personality and still not have a thing to want to fuck them. That's the problem we have with the world. People are either changing all the time or they're caught up in trends. They don't go off facts and evidence, and they don't go off the fact of going, I can openly admit without this being misinterpreted and actually still have a very platonic relationship with whoever. Professional relationship. You can be attracted to someone, not even via looks and via personality, but more of a certain quality of drive and ethics and this and that and the other, what they stand for. But you say attraction to the world, and you go, oh, this must be, oh, he's hot, or she's hot, and this and that, and you want to fuck them all of a sudden. It's not. And that's something that has been lost with society nowadays. That's the problem. People go off trends and what is said in the media and this and that without actually looking at the facts and the evidence, the statistics and the fucking charts, and be able to relate that and compare that, in a sense, to the evidence that's going on physically. And that's the problem. People get too close, and like you, among others, they use their emotions more than their fucking head. And that's the problem. And a lot of people, in that sense to what we were saying earlier, or what I was trying to explain in a factual sense, a lot of people won't admit that men are physically stronger than women. They are. They're born like that. Women are much more softer and more curvier and more mentally stable in this. Well, majority of women are more mentally stable. They're not built to take on grueling hours and grueling punishment like the men are. Not to say women can't, because they can easily develop and progress and mature and, you know, physically become hardened in that sense and have a much more physical resilience just as much as they do mentally. But statistically, on an everyday average thing, same height, same build, as we've said before, as we've had this talk before, men will always be physically dominant. And men are learning slowly, some people quicker than others, some people are just not learning at all, and other people are open and starting to realize that men are mentally starting to learn, and they don't want any part of being around women, and both men and women who are seeing what is going on with the world, a lot of them are pushing back against trends and this and that and the other, and actually start to realize that in somewhat of a way, the old days of doing things are so much better. There's actually a bit of structure there. There's
Of course.
People know where they
sit. Because people know their place. Men go out and they work and they bring in the cash, and women stay at home and look after the children.
And there you go.
Structure. That is miserable.
Yeah, it is miserable, and it's
the most pathetic, miserable take. And it's worse on the women, because boo-hoo, men have to go out and work. kudos to them. But when they get home, they expect dinner done, they expect the house clean, they expect the children fed, showered, whatever.
See me.
That is miserable.
See, me and Keys agreed or with the same thing. So I did ask. We got into a debate about this the other day, and there's a balance there. It sucks if one is doing one thing and the other is doing the other. Agreed. I do not put it past anyone. It sucks, you know. Same with single parents and this and that and the other. You need someone else there, a friend, partner, whoever it is just to take the heat load off. And that's understandable. I do not fault that. But if the guy's gone out to work 12 hours and the woman, in this case, as you've put, is at home, yeah, I'd expect a hug, a loving hug, a kiss, just a drink while I'm getting changed. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say, oi bitch, go and get me a drink because that's your place. No. But if she offers or she realises I've been out longer and da-da-da, she's just doing it out of loving, caring, support and heart. I get that. Now, if it was the other way and she was out, which I know we've had a conversation in private about this, if that was the other way and I'm at home, even been home for half an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is, and I'm changed, comfy, cozy, you get the idea, and the woman comes in, hey lass, da-da-da, how was work, you want a drink, da-da-da, yeah, okay, I'm not help, take the boots off if it's just like, oh, fucking hell, my back's aching, da-da-da, go in the bath, keep her happy, you know the saying, happy wife, happy life. That's bullshit. Because where's the fun in it for the guy? But you find the respect and the understanding that you're not always going to want to be able to move about when you've already been moving about for 6 fucking hours and you do something like construction or you do something like care work or you do something where you're physically on the go or standing up all the time. It's understandable. And there are a lot of people on both sides that get that. And then there's a lot of people on both sides that abuse that position. So it's having a structure and it's having something that is fully understood and respectable, but also knowing, in a sense, knowing your place and where your capabilities lie and the role that you kind of fill in given the scenario that you're in. And that's what's lost on the world. And a lot of people are crying about something that they've already got. And they keep pushing it. And this is the point where people are starting to fight back. Because people on both sides expect to be put on a pedestal and bow down to, metaphorically speaking, to something that you've already fucking got. And it kind of starts to make sense when you start seeing what is really going on in the world and going off the facts and going off everyone's kind of side of things when it's evident of what's going on. And people don't. And that's why we're going backwards. There's no respect anymore. There's no discipline. There's no fucking familiarity with people anymore because people are afraid of acting out because it might come back on them or you might end up in a fucking prison sentence and that all of a sudden just for trying to help. Black man trying to help a young teen on a bus. I think somewhere like America, New York, somewhere around there. And the cops came and arrested the black guy because he's the one trying to help some young teen, trying to defend a young teen from being groped and raped and God knows what by some fat 40-year-old fucker on a bus. And it's the black guy that got pulled over. Where's the justice in that? And even today with grown adults and everything else, it's the same thing. You can understand why men don't get involved with women's affairs. It's the reason why women won't take that chance with a guy. Because he think he might just play her off and this and that because he's already been hurt before. And it comes back to what I was saying earlier. Women, as you asked, women seem old and said women are older and they seem more happier because they've gone through the stages and they're alone. Yeah, because they've worked on themselves, where men don't always do that when they're younger. And then it's the flip side. Women won't play about, they struggle when they get older. They wonder why people leave. People don't want to put up their bullshit and they just leave it alone. Where men will build themselves up and look for something more happier. And that can go both ways, men and women. So can you start to understand what it is that I'm saying now in that sense?
I get what you're saying, but I have no interest for facts unless I also agree with them on a more biased scale. Everything you're saying I can understand. Reddit, it's very textbook, sorry, but
Just because someone doesn't like...
I mean, your opinion is factual. And no, you can't do the whole rubbish if someone doesn't like the facts. I like the facts. If I, on a personal scale, do not agree with them, I'm not going to agree with them. I understand a lot of what you're saying. I agree for the most part. That's it.
See, a lot of people don't like the facts and they try and escape from that. And then, you know, as with everyone, it starts to show itself and people realise. But as long as you have an opinion, that's one thing, but when you're using your heart and not your heart and your head and you see it from both sides, that's a very dangerous game. Now, if you're arguing against that, you do have to bring it with some evidence, otherwise it is just an opinion, and it can be a very negative, biased opinion. And then there is things there where it can be a positive opinion and it's seen as insightful, and it can be what's the word for it? Encouragement and inspirational. But you have to then be able to follow up on it. And it is a very difficult thing, but as long as you have that balance and you're using your head and being respectful with your heart, then you're there. And that's a very difficult thing to do, even for me. You know, you get too close to something and you get attached, and that's a very difficult thing to do. You know, is separate the two between what you want and what is right, what is easy and what is logical, you know, and everyone struggles with it at some point. So that's what I meant by everything and this and that and the other. Now that you've actually sat down and listened and vice versa, it makes more sense, you know.
You haven't educated me on anything, if I'm being quite honest. It's all things I've heard. I just don't care to take a lot of it on.
And that's
With my very emotional opinion, I do look at things from a very factual objective, because as a Libra, and as a person, I pride myself on seeing it from multiple perspectives. I just have no interest for the facts in a lot of these conversations.
That's the problem. That's why.
And your entire opinion, no, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. It's a you problem.
No, it is a problem because it's your way or no way, and it's not seeing it from a logical, neutral reasoning perspective. It's seen as a biased thing, and that's why it turns into an argument.
Would your opinion automatically not be biased because you have the power of facts on your side.
But if that's facts and it's been proven to be this and that, and it's been shown by theory as well as the evidence and the facts and everything else, which facts comes off evidence from being a practical formula and actually going into it. Science, how this science comes about, well, you have to have the practical evidence.
Science is just very well tested theory. Every fact is actually incorrect.
Well, everything we believe is wrong.
That's a fact.
But then you look at gravity, Isaac Newton,
Which is wrong.
This and that and the other. Yeah, but there's so much there that we don't.
There's depth to it, I know.
And there's so much there that has been proven in terms of our world and experience.
Yeah.
But
And it can all be unproven with one simple theory.
What's that?
Oh, no, Brian Cox said it, literally. 6th, or whatever month it is this month, September. Theoretical theory itself can be completely flipped onto its head with one additional numerical equation been solved. That's how he worded it. He didn't go into detail about it. I mean, he's not going to go into detail about it. I never bothered doing research because I thought it was ludicrous. I mean, how can you flip facts on its head? But apparently.
But you've kind of shot yourself in the foot there, because the way you ended that was literally, it's got to be proven. Well, how do you prove it until you put it to the test? You physically put it into motion. And this is what I was saying beforehand. In order to have facts, you got to have the evidence. In order to have the evidence, you got to physically go out and test it. You got to physically go out and look for it. And so
Tested my emotional capacity for the next few weeks.
Good. Someone will do that in the gym.
If we agree to...
No, but you have said it yourself. You go off opinion and not the facts more often than not. You go with your heart more than your head. So...
Your entire opinion is based off of facts, therefore it's just well-tested opinions.
No. The facts has gone off the evidence from physically going ahead and doing it to such a degree that it is there. You weigh yourself, or anyone that weighs himself, you always weigh yourselves a couple of times just to make sure that it is the same thing. You do that to a practical thing. You do it with gravity, you do it with exposure of colours, you do arts and crafts, you mix two things, and it's by doing it to a practical effect that you then get the answer to then be able to record that into facts. Purple and blue makes red. Well, how would we know that until someone done it? And then when they've done it so many times and it's been the same answer, you then record it and it's fact because someone's gone off the physical test run to actually put it into gear to then be able to get that answer. It's the same thing. So yeah, do I go off facts and evidence? Yeah. But do I have my own opinion as well? Yeah. But I willingly state, this is my opinion. What do people think? Or I don't really agree with that because there is evidence to suggest. And that's how I go about it. That's when I make it known that I'm done one way or the other. And I back it up, as you know. So, I have emotions, I have a heart, I have a opinion. I'm also very aware that without anything to show for itself, it is an opinion until proven right or wrong, and I'm open to that. As opposed to you, where you go off bias and feelings, and it's not always a good thing. So there you go. Questions answered.
What was the original question? Do you remember?
Women getting older, when women get older, they seem more happier. Why is that? Guys having families when they're older and not.
No, you have it written down. Sorry. I was wondering, I was like, does he remember what the original thing was? I mean, we've talked about that much.
I do.
But now you wrote it down so you could refer to it.
No, I do. I do remember it because I put it down in our chat, our messenger chat. I've just refreshed my page and the whole fucking conversation's gone. So, and that was about 10-15 minutes ago, so I don't have it. So I've got a very good memory, despite what I've gone through in the past. I have a very good memory. So, yeah, it was. I put down women idol. Oh, fuck off. Yeah, no, idol. You haven't been moving, you haven't done shit. Basically, fuck off out the lobby. It's not a fucking lobby, no one else is in here. What the fuck? But no, I did put, when I said, okay, so what did you say? And I did put in our message, women older.
Okay, I'm gonna pause you. Can you please remove that? Can I remove myself from VR? Because I'm fairly sure we haven't finished all of MP.
Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. I hit the wrong. The wrong fuck. So that was that one. That was that one. So I believe we got 2 left.
We didn't do gunfight. Frontline free for all and gunfight.
That's it. Cheers. Here we go. Yeah, so I put in our messenger. Women older happy, guys. Guys something rather happy with guys getting older, family happy, which obviously led to the feminine of getting older and this and that, or just more ease and settled, etc. And then there was men and women's struggles, which is obviously what I said about on both sides of this and that and the other.
The original thing stemmed from you saying, sorry.
The
original thing stemmed from you saying that women need men.
And majority of 1 out of 10 women do. And
my opinion is still the same. Most women, because of the way society is built, in the sense that we are in a way forced to need men, and men in a way are forced to need women. But for the most part, most women do need men, because that is the way society is built. But if we were to fuck over society, not we, because you wouldn't do that, but if I were to fuck up society, or people were to fuck up society a little more, I truly believe that men do not need women, and women do not need men. But for the most part, statistically and factually, you can do your research to prove me right or wrong, I do believe more often than not men need women. So it was really just me trying to understand and prove myself right. And then more was added to it, and understanding factuals, opinions, and that's where you delved into it properly.
And somewhat dominated. No, it between the two, women are definitely on an emotional side of things for most, because not every woman is like that. Not woman, I should say, is like that. Not every guy is like that. But more often than not, on a percentage, which was the word I've been trying to think of for the last fucking half an hour now. Women are more physically and statistically more mentalized in a general capacity of things. Physically, but most of them fucking suck, and when it comes to a lot of physical logics and physical adaptions, most don't have a fucking clue. And then you get the odd ones that are hands-on, don't give a fuck, will actually keep up with the guys, and I give full credit to them. I have never denied that. I love it when a chick becomes a grease monkey, in mechanics, or get down and dirty with rugby and this and that. A proper fucking sexualize things and this and that in a lot of ways, and just get down and dirty. But I also do like a feminine chick that is very much, I'm not afraid to show love and care, etc. and this and that, and that's the stage that men get at when they're older. And that's when they become more, as you said, more in tune with emotions, because they're not afraid to show it, because they have a need to show that capacity for a family sense, and that's something that we don't learn until later on. And that is, in that sense, and in a lot of ways, it covers why men need women. Obviously, reproduction and this and that as well. So there is the benefits of this and that, because without women, us guys are evolved, modernized cavemen. I mean, we're simple: eat, sleep, shit, watch football. Boom, boom goes past, and all of a sudden we're attracted to something with four wheels and a red body. So that's the part where men really do need women in that sense. Among other things as well, but you get the idea. And vice versa. Women, men, physicality. Protection provide in a lot of ways, but again, it is more than doable to live life without each other. But where one side or the other struggles with certain things, the other one then provides that courtesy and that depth, if you want to call it that, in whichever way you look at it. So that's what I've been trying to vocalize, but me not being good with words, although trying to have the meaning still. That's when I then get misinterpreted and misunderstood. But it is, see, that's the thing, as I've said before, as you know, vocalizing shit I don't do very well, but then seeing the actions and seeing the evidence, and that's when I strive.
That's often why we end up disagreeing on a lot of things, because for the most part, although I don't agree with everything you said, I am now seeing what you were trying to say, regardless of whether or not I agree with it in some things. I've got to watch my wording, but I often know how I can watch my wording, whereas you don't have to, but you would benefit from watching your wording and do not know how to properly watch your wording, if that makes sense. That's not me being a dick. That's just me just looking at it.
No, I know where you're coming from. I just don't give a fuck whether something is raw or not. I try and be respectful. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not textbook fucking bookworm and nerd and this and the other. I'm just saying.
You don't need to be a bookworm to properly explain something.
No, but like I said, I don't feel comfortable communicating anyway, because no matter how basic you try and make it seem and everything else, people misunderstand. And I know I'm not the most comfortable at letting things can come across differently, and it's not what I mean. But I'm not textbook type, I'll just say it raw and brutal and as harsh as it comes across. Me have done some better, but I've always admitted my flaws and faults and this and that and the other, and talking's definitely not one of the strong suits. But you put me into any physical capacity, and this is something I always say to people: and this is something that is universal. Don't listen to someone's words, watch them perform, or watch them act, or whatever the fucking universal term is for it. And I'm very much a physical guy. I get hands on and you see it. Some people are death jockeys all the way to, and other people are very hands on. I'm very hands on. But between the two, more percentage and more hands on.
So essentially, you're a prime example of why men need women and women need men.
I'm purely on the fence. As much as it may seem one-sided, I do stay on the fence and I sit from both sides.
No, I'm not on about opinion. I'm on about you not necessarily being the best at vocally communicating, whereas your actions speak a lot. Actions speak louder than words. I think that's bullshit. But for you, it fits.
People,
that makes sense.
People hate it when I show them the truth. The struggle is...
Because some people don't like the truth. You don't need the truth.
There you go.
Not everyone needs to. No, see, this is the thing. I think the truth should be told. I think it should be out there. But not everyone has to take on the truth. Not everyone has to listen to the truth. Not everyone has to... You go into things... You've said this before, in a way, that... what is it? Oh, goodness me. It was about how you take the truth into things or whatever, and you give it to people. And I'm like, not everyone. You run about how people hate the facts and hate you automatically are made out to be the bad guy, because a lot of the time people don't need in that moment, nor do they want facts and truth.
See, that's part of it.
The problem. No, it's
no, because this is
the problem in the way.
This is what I was about to say. That's part of the problem, because people only see it, only want to acknowledge, or only physically and physically and witnessingly only seeing part of it. And the other part of that I don't really open up about, because it's just, well, people will see me as the bad guy, fair enough. I know what's going on. Is the fact that 9 times out of 10, people that don't want the truth or of anything that's going on, I keep quiet. And people who live in a dream world, fair enough, you do you, but don't fucking complain about it when shit happens to you and you don't want to recognize or realize. And it's the same thing. And I've said the same thing to the folks. I'll be the dickhead because I'll be the one that fucking say and admit what's going on, regardless of what people think. You know where that's going. You keep trying to live this fantasy world that other people have accused me of, and yet you're not being real with what's going on. But then the catch is, and this is the part that a lot of people don't see, is the part of, when I say people see the bang and not the build up, that's exactly the same in this case. People that don't don't know that someone else has asked for the truth and they don't like it, and that's the scenario that I get seen and put into for being real. And a lot of people don't like that, and they get the arse ache because it's not the answer that they wanted, and that they want just to prove something wrong or right, or to put them at ease. You ask for the truth, you ask for something to be done. Don't then fucking complain about it when I follow up with that. And that's the problem. You don't want it, fair enough, you do you. I don't want to fucking communicate most of the time anyway. I hate people. So, I don't care. You don't bug me. You don't bug me, you don't ask me. Fair enough. But you ask for the truth. Don't then fucking complain about it when I tell you exactly how it is. And that's what people don't like. Yet they asked. Don't ask if you can't handle a bit of truth. And I keep warn them. I'll tell you exactly how it is. Don't ever moan or get upset because it's not what you expect. Don't get upset because someone's telling you how it is. And I've always warned people. Nowadays, I just don't give a fuck. You ask, I'm gonna tell. You don't ask, fuck off and leave me alone. It's as simple as that. And that's the problem with the world. Now, in my experience and what people have always done, and what you've just said, that's what happens. And you've seen it. Well, if that's not what you meant.
I'm just saying a lot of the time, no, not really. I'm saying more so than a lot of the time you give the facts when they're not wanted.
Whereas the facts
But the times that you are talking about, where you give the facts where they asked for it and can't handle it, yeah, well then people should simply not ask for the facts. But 9 times out of 10, you just give facts when they're not wanted. As someone who appreciates facts, it really doesn't that bother me, to be honest. But I know for a lot of people, in my limited experience, a lot of people just don't want it or need it.
Yeah, see, that's when it becomes down to a situational awareness of you need to know this, or can I keep quiet and just let you discover it? And it's that kind of thing of the privacy and the respect of not telling. In a way, it's like snitching, but when you're real and it's genuine, people will find out. You kind of keep quiet. And in a positive sense, there's benefits to that, but you're always seen in the dark, or you're always seen in the bad or the good or whatever until truth comes out. And as you know, I went through that for a long time, and now people realise, and it's that same kind of thing. Is it needed? No. Oh, sorry, that's not one. Is it what people want? No. Is that what people need to hear to progress? And you have to read it carefully. Or is it something they're going to figure out in the long run or somewhere down the line? That's when you need to be aware of the scenario. But more times than not, you have to say it because it's needed. Whether you like it or not, you need to hear it in order to progress. Most people do. Most people
don't need progression. They don't want progression.
That's why
we've discussed this before.
That's why society.
That's why we discussed this. You go in to help people.
I don't go to
people. Don't necessarily want the help.
No, I don't. I keep out the way. The only time I help people is when people want,
Why are you giving your opinion?
because you asked me a question.
Oh no, not me, not me, not me, not me. I mean in general. I mean, do you know how you take in facts? Because I'm gonna be honest. In your not in your opinion, your opinion is not something you've based off of experience. You've seemingly based it off of facts.
No,
And that's because you're an ISTP, are you not? IS.
no. See, this is when you not directly, but you do twist the thing here. As I mentioned earlier, I take the facts and I give them because I've physically witnessed it or I've applied them. But that's the difference. A lot of people will just stay at home and use work scenarios or use college scenarios or this and that. You see the facts and you see the theory, but no one applies it. Or you're the guy up on the head office who's never seen the fucking light of day of a workplace on the floor, and you see how stressful it is, right? And then the people on the floor doing the practical shit, or the people in colleges doing the practical stuff, never sees the amount of shit that goes on. And there's always that dilemma, and there's always that inconsistency of communication that goes, well, blah, 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 they hate us and this and that and the other, and they're not doing enough work, right? It's the ones that are in the middle that progressed from bottom floor to the first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor, and fifth floor, and then obviously head office. You have to have both before you can have an opinion and state the facts. You can have opinion, and most of the time you find it from people that have never actually gone through it, and they go off stories or this and that they've read up on, which, let's be honest, is most people. The people that have actually gone through it and are doing the practicality, they don't have a say, and most people have a very respectful standing up. I can't say much because I'm not up. And some people, and the genuine people, will admit that.
That's an individual experience.
And that's the thing. So when you say
You
about,
might have ADHD.
no, it's got nothing to do with it.
I don't want it.
Well, that's ADHD.
No, I don't think you get it.
No, I do. From what you asked,
Because, no, you don't fucking get it. Hold up.
I do.
The simple reason that I was saying something, you said something else, and I completely lost my train of thought. Nothing to do with the conversation, that was simply a vocalized thought.
No, but the question is, you go off facts and don't see it happening. For real, I do. And I was using that as an example. The people in the middle are the ones normally and typically have gone from the bottom and worked their way up. And that's when you can have an opinion and state the facts, but you have to separate the two. I see the facts and I see what's happening and witnessing it, and I've gone through it, so I can have a say on it without letting my feelings get in the way, because I have the statistics on both sides, the witnessing and the physical, the theory and the practical. That's the difference. And it seems all good to be true, but when you look at the type of guy that I am, I get hands-on. And I work and work and work until I've got to the point. I beat myself up about stuff all the time because I'm not at the point that I think is satisfactory, and it always seems excessive. And in certain areas, way good to be true, but then you see it happen. And it's why there's always people that can always witness and evidently, be a reference to speak. And it's the same with music, it's the same on here and this and that and the other. You get fed up hearing someone moan all this and that, but then you watch the gameplay and all of a sudden they're telling the truth. And it's by learning, it's by adapting, it's seeing the theory, it's seeing the practical, it's putting both into play. So I can actually say that due to what you asked, or due to what you said about you have the theory and not gone through it. I do, and I have, and I still put myself in somewhat of a way uncomfortable scenarios to fucking learn about it. Other people don't, and that's become so fucking normal into, excuse me, that's become so fucking normal into today's society that no one really knows what it's like to go through the ringer, because they just go off facts and they pretend it's a happy world and this and that and the other, and it isn't. And people have been fed bullshit lies and listening to shit that's going on in the media and the world today, that nothing's ever changed for quite a few years, and no one gets that reality check. You know, so I just do my own thing, and in that sense, when people need to hear something, the fucking truth and the reality of it, people don't like it. It's normally because you've assessed what's going on and you need to say this in order to progress. All the other times, I keep quiet until it becomes a major issue. You know, it's the reason in somewhat of a way why I do the Q&As, so there's no fake bullshit. I'm saying it how it is, the evidence is there, and it's no different from me doing it online to me doing it in person. There really is no difference in that sense, and I'm full on how it is, and will say it how it is. And that's something that a lot of people want but can't come to terms with. So they put themselves in this fantasy bullshit land where everything is fine. And when it isn't, they take one thing and make it seem like it's got to do with them and sensitize it when it's got nothing to fucking do with them. And they use a heart and they go off opinions and bias and the people they're around. They get so stuck into this thing based on a fucking lie just because one person said it with no factual evidence or no reputation of actually having the experience of going through it. And this is the problem. So I can say that I know what it's like because I've physically gone through it to show the evidence and show that as the fact. So, you know, I do have a say on it. And but I think in that sense, I'm very well understood why I end up having a say, you know. When it gets to a point or people need to hear it.
Okay. I was wrong. Your opinion is not just based off of facts, it is based off of personal experience. That was a fuck up on my part. I was wrong.
And witnessing it from being there in person of what other people have gone through.
That's his experience. You don't necessarily have to go through yourself, taking on others' opinions and witnessing it, etc., experience.
I've gone through it myself as well as witnessed it, and it's always the same. It's always down to one of
still experience.
Yeah, still experience, and there's the facts. The facts come with the experience. The only way people get facts is by actually going out and finding them. History, archaeology, fucking relationship, money, fame, work, achievements, it all comes down to locally acting and putting yourself through the paces in order to reach that point where you show the evidence. But you can't do that if there's no evidence. That's something why this generation, this society that's based on technology will always fail in that sense. So, you know.
Which generation? I'm not even going to know which generation, because technically it'd not even be my generation, it would be yours that's causing more issues than mine.
Anything
But I get what you mean.
no.
That's why I said I'm not. That's why I said I'm not going down that route. That's why I said I'm not going down that route. That's why I said I'm not going down that route.
It's society and it's generations that's grown up with technology, where they have to rely on technology for experience instead of actively going out and working on it. You know. So, if you're gonna lie down there, or lie down right underneath me. Lie down, you daft cat. Lie down. And you're not sleeping behind. In a second, I'm gonna put my back right up against the back here, and you're gonna be underneath me. Fuck me, that was tiring.
There's the beautiful sound of an SMR.
I got customs on the far right shoulder.
Those two. Okay. What's this?
I think it's a peacemaker, if I'm not mistaken.
Never said the comments anything. Camera.
Oh, you can have this one.
At the fallen angel. No, it's taking authentic. Are you gonna take more kills? Because there's one here. Oh no.
Target.
I'm going to.
Fuck's sake. Come on, you little bitch. Shoot him already.
Why do you always hold back on gunfire?
Because it pisses me off when you take more kills than thing. So I've gotten to the point where I'm like, to stop myself from being pissed off and for blaming you for just playing the game well, I don't do anything unless absolutely necessary. So really it's just a way of me just putting the phone down, having a drink of coffee and calming myself from being pissed off for no reason type of thing. It truly is me trying to protect you in that sense.
No, when you word it like
It's not me being a dick, it's...
Oh, when you word it like
Oh,
that.
God.
All love and care to that, you know, I understand it, and thank you for not biting my head off. With that said, when you do actually play and you're on a good day, or let me reword that. When you're on your best day, you do so much better than me. And when you're on a good day, you do keep up, and more often than not, we're either on par or you do get the 2 kills above me. So it is normally on here, and there is a couple.
Acknowledging that I can play the game.
Well, I can acknowledge you just seem to put yourself down and not want to play, which I
The
get.
sarcasm of the greatest form, baby.
Now you wonder why I don't get
was
compliments so much.
No, hold on. You just said, what was it? I can keep up. I've been playing the game for longer. I can do more than keep up, more often than not. I just don't take it as seriously as you.
Don't take it seriously. I'm always having fun and well, trying to have fun and love the moment.
I know.
But to say that you've been playing longer than I have, we'd actually have to check that and see. But the side and end note of that, you can understand why I don't give compliments when someone's just being sarcastic all the time. But no, you do.
Good excuse.
On my side, it is the truth. You do play well enough to keep up, if not, normally get a couple of kills on top of anyone else. Sometimes in certain maps, which I've acknowledged for a long time now, you excel way more on MP than anyone else does. So while you hold back is an absolute kerfuffle for me. The reason you get pissed off is the fact someone's got your back. In that case, being me, when it's someone else, it's understandable. But I can see why you hold yourself back and allow you to get yourself to get riled up, and I thank you for that. But you don't realise how good of a player you actually are. Part of that is just playing all the time. And the other part of that is just having a drive to always get better. Somewhat of a way better than everyone else, but also be better than you were the day before. So, don't feel bad and that if you kick my ass at getting better points, because there is a friendly competition there, and I don't want to say competition, but friendly respect and love to help each other progress and evolve, which means it's beneficial in the long run on the same team against everyone else. At the same time, as you openly stated, it is a game. Have fun with it.